So good morning. Today is June 6th. I received a text message from my stepmom about 2:30 this morning telling me that my dad had died. She called me 2 days ago, or was that just yesterday? 2 days ago, and said that he's close, it's time to come home. And so that has brought up so many feelings, fears, hesitations, and things like that. So it's been a whirlwind of feelings these last couple of days. So God has been pressing on me for a while to look at what I'm trying to control, how I'm responding to hurts and pains and things like that. It's been so eye-opening, devastating in some ways, that I didn't realize how much I was holding on to. So I started writing this morning. I've been in 2 Samuel 22 for somewhere around 5 days. And I've just been allowing it to speak to me. And when I'm done, I just stop. And so I kind of finished today, but I'll most likely have 2 more days left because I'll go back and I'll read it and see what is still there. Okay, so I just started writing this morning, and here's what I put. So what I noticed is when someone hurts me, I retreat. And so I have created this life where I'm not sure if it's isolation or insulation. And really what it comes down to is a fallacy of control and limiting my outcomes to predictable endings. In some ways, that's not a bad thing. But in other ways, I think it's pretty dysfunctional. I don't know. So I had this question: how to handle when people attack you. How do you handle it afterwards? Because I'm okay during, but what about afterwards? How do you deal with all of that? So in 2 Samuel 22, it says, "For who is God save God?" It certainly isn't Maggie. I'd make a terrible God because I'm not omniscient, omnipresent, or omnipotent. So why do I keep trying to do his job? I'm not qualified for the job. How insulting it must be for him to watch people try to do his job for him. As a teacher, I see students try to do this, and I don't see it as disrespectful. I see it as they're afraid. They're afraid of making mistakes. They're afraid of what's going to come up next. That it's really a trust thing. And I think what it comes down to is, if they're not perfect, are they still worthy? Are they still lovable? I know that's my problem. That's my question. I spend a lot of time trying to cloak my imperfections, mask my irritations, and my anger. And God has been giving me a mirror and showing me what's within. God is my strength and my power. 2 Samuel 22. He maketh my way perfect. He makes me have the ability to climb high above my enemies to protect me and keep me safe. It says he maketh my feet like hinds' feet. And what they do is their hooves actually are like suction cups, and they can hold on as they climb up these really high things. So I got this picture in my head where they are climbing high above their enemy, where their enemy can't get to them. And that's what God does for us as well. And he makes me have the ability to climb high above my enemies to protect me and keep me safe. I have an unhealthy way of handling deep hurt with people I must still have contact with. The bitterness and resentment is strong right now. I didn't even realize it, but it's there. I'm still angry about how I was treated. They've moved on and pretended everything is fine while ignoring me and my hurt and my needs completely. So how do I deal with that? I must have to take it to God in prayer. There's a song, an old song, where it's take it to God in prayer. And that's what came to my mind. So many things I've been placing as burdens on my shoulders instead of continually replacing them, putting them on the altar over and over again. Each time, every day, I must take them back to Him. They have made me bitter and angry. I've avoided any and all situations with certain people because I cannot trust that they will be civil. I literally don't know what they will do or say, and this terrifies me. They're like a ticking time bomb, and it feels like what happens is they say something and then they don't allow me to say anything back because they want to have the final say. And I'm still afraid of how they'll respond the next time I see them. So why am I cowering? I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't mean. I wasn't nasty. I wasn't rude or disrespectful. So why am I allowing these people to have this much power and influence in my life? And then I had that verse come into my head. Where does your help come from? Where does your identity come from? Who are you at the core, regardless of if others see it or not? You do not have to defend yourself to anyone. You don't owe anyone an explanation. I'm 47 years old. I am capable of making decisions for myself, even if people disagree with them. So what do you do when someone does not give you what you want? Be careful. That can easily turn into anger and bitterness. It has with me. The reasons why you're upset with them from things in the past is how they're going to respond to this situation. Why are you asking, expecting, demanding something that they cannot and will not give you? If they're incapable of that much introspection, why are you asking for it? You're setting yourself up for some great disappointment. Somehow, you're basing your worth on how people who are incapable of accepting responsibilities for their actions and or they do not care for the impact it has had on your life. You let some people off the hook. And why do you let others keep them on the hook? That is something only God can do. You must allow Him to have sovereignty over every single situation, especially those. You will drive yourself crazy trying to do something you are not capable of doing. 2 Samuel 22:35 says, God teaches my hands to war. When it is my fight, God will give me the tools necessary to defeat and conquer the adversary. When it's not my fight, what am I to do? I am to stand still and watch God fight my battle for me. I cannot and will not ever be able to make someone see something, care about something they do not want to or care to see. I think that's what's driving me crazy is I'm trying to change how people think and how people feel. I'll never be able to do that. I don't have that kind of power. I will never have the tools to be able to do so. It is not in my job description. That is something I need to take to the Lord in prayer and give it to Him. My job in these situations is to pray for guidance, clarity, love, and compassion for that person or those people each and every time until I am released from it. It took me probably a year and a half, maybe a little longer, to finally release the abusers from having any sort of control in my brain, in my heart, and in my life. And I had to go to God multiple times a day, every single day. every time it came up, I'm like, God, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. But it was a conscious effort to not allow the bitterness and the anger to turn to hatred and unforgiveness and things. So I've done it before, but I think I've let other people slip through because I didn't realize how tricky of a situation this can be. The only thing you can control is your response. Remember that. My goal is to stop worrying about how others will respond. That must be a trauma thing. I always try to prepare myself for the different ways that something can go down, what you could be blamed for, things like that. And none of that is mine to bear or carry. Here I've been practicing my monologue for defending my actions as to why I waited to drive all the way across the country when I found out that my dad was getting ready to pass. I don't need to do that. My reasons are my reasons. I don't answer to any of them. They are not my boss, and they are not my superiors. They only can bully me if I allow them to do so. It's all about choice. It's all about perspective and attitude, focus. My pastor reminded me how I see the situation is what I'm going to get out of the situation. This could be a great opportunity to show love, compassion, peace, and mercy instead of a showdown of who's got more power. I'm not going to respond in anger or bitterness. I've already determined that in my heart. So we won't be having a fight. I had to practice a couple of phrases like, this is neither the time nor the place to discuss such things. And then just keep it at that. The only way there can be a fight is if two people participate in it. If I do not get into the fight, there cannot be a fight. But it comes down to me and how I'm approaching each and every day. Is this a situation where I can show love, mercy, peace, and compassion? Yes, always. I need to get myself right with God each and every day so that I can share that with others. My encouragement today. Ask God. Go to God in prayer. Seek Him, and He will tell you whether it's your fight. Most of the time, it's not my fight. Most of the time, I'm trying to fight God's battles for Him, which makes my life a lot more complicated than it needs to be. You got this.